energy forecast for Tuesday, December 19th. So today we will have the moon in Pisces reach that first quarter square with the sun at 27 degrees, which is pretty interesting seeing as, of course, the sun reaching that 27th degree in Sagittarius energy is actually reaching the galactic center, which is an alignment point. And of course, alignment points are super, super needed at this time as we're approaching the solstice, as we're approaching that gateway, which of course is going to close the door on this particular experimental phase that we've been in since November 13th, and of course open the door to the next karmic chapter, to the next soul contract, if you will, locking in what it is that we are going to be dealing with for this next shift in energy, shift moving towards this brand new year. So we have a lot of going ons here in the cosmos here today. Of course, the moon in Pisces is a time for rest, for reflection. This is a time when we are feeling a little bit restless with ants in our pants. A lot of that is because Mars is in Sagittarius energy, wanting to take action, wanting to make moves, but of course we're not being supported in doing so. We are so freaking close to this particular solstice energy that, again, everything is kind of intense, everything is in a testing period. We really have the ability to kind of explore our inner realm from a totally different perspective. So we are going to see the first quarter moon in Pisces take place at 1:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, that is when the moon is going to square the sun. This is the first action point, the first decision point, the first choice point that we are making since the new moon in Sagittarius energy. And shortly thereafter, because this is taking place at 27 degrees, very late in the wheel, we are going to see the moon go void of course at 4:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be locking into Aries energy, again, brand new lunar cycle for all of us, at 5:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So even if we weren't having this first quarter moon, even if we weren't having this galactic center activation, the moon going from the Pisces energy to the Aries energy is always a welcome one. First of all, we get to move out of our inner realms, move out of those emotions, move out of that confusion that the Pisces energy definitely weighs on our shoulders. And that Aries energy, of course, is a cardinal sign, which means that we're jumping into something new. We're initiating a new emotional cycle of sorts, a new awareness that we are going to be working with. And that Aries energy being a fire sign, we have a new spark, we have a new fire, we have a new flame that we are cultivating, that we're fanning, if you will, in order for us to take the initiative and jump into a new cycle. So it is very welcomed. And again, fire energy kind of dries us off emotionally from the water energy that we're in and puts us in a state of realizing what it is now that we have to take action upon. And of course, that's just going to be intensified by this first quarter moon lunar phase that puts us in a state of deciding, choosing, and taking action upon some of the things that we just started to realize under that new moon in Sagittarius energy. So we have a lot going on. There are 9 different aspects taking place here today. 8 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon, still very much in this Pisces energy, is going to sextile, make a beautiful interaction with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who is retrograde in Taurus energy. What I love about this is epiphanies on epiphanies on epiphanies. This is revealing to us some deep inner knowing, some deep inner insight on where it is that we've been resisting change, where it is that we've been afraid of change, where it is that we are essentially praying for the changes that we're not willing to do anything about. We're kind of in a holding pattern, holding very, very dearly to what it is that we've already created, knowing damn well that we've kind of outgrown these particular aspects, these particular elements. The moon in Pisces bringing things full circle. Uranus giving us a bigger, broader perspective on where it is that we're no longer in alignment with some of the aspects that we are currently dealing with in our physical realm, and having this aha moment, having this epiphany, snapping these puzzle pieces together, revealing a lot of what it is that we are currently thinking about, feeling about, knowing about when we align with our intuition, with our higher self. This is going to be a good change. This is a new level of awareness. This is a new little bit of a glimmer on what the big picture vision, what that clarity that we've been lacking, what that actually looks like, what that actually means, and how it actually makes us feel. The moon is then going to semi-square, creating a little bit of a tension point with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. Retrograde in the Taurus energy, giving us a little bit more time to kind of grow up and glow up. We're working on our inner realm. This is where self-love, self-worth, where confidence is building. We're rearranging our priorities, our values, if you will. And this particular aspect, although it is a semi-square highlighting the tension and conflict that we're currently feeling, there is this energy, this push, this pull, this ebb, this flow. In our inner realm, we're trying to find peace and contentment, but there's always that kind of nagging voice, if you will, on where it is that we could be doing better, where it is that we could be kind of pushing the boundaries of this current particular moment and circumstance. And so Jupiter, who tends to kind of turn the volume all the way up on whatever it is that we're thinking and feeling. Right now, we're just kind of contemplating our possibilities, our opportunities out in our physical realm on what it is that we want to do, what we want to build, what we want to bring to life, what we want to create. But then realizing where it is within us that we're just not feeling equipped or prepared to do all of the things that we're required to do to make these really big changes in our physical realm. The moon is then going to interact with the North Node in Aries energy. This is a positive interaction, which means that there is some insight, there is some growth, there is some healing that we are working with. And when we're pushing the boundaries of thinking about where it is that we would like to go from here, we're starting to formulate even the smallest little path, the smallest little plan to actually move in a different direction. This is putting us in a, let's call it planning and strategy type of situation where we are listening to our intuition. We are really reliant on the way that thinking about certain circumstances, different variables, is actually making us feel in our physical bodies. And we're determining what feels good, what feels bad, what feels in alignment, what feels out of alignment, where it is that we want to kind of push the boundaries of our comfort zone, and where it is that we're quite content to stay where it is that we're at. This is just an awareness of the, let's call it paths, directions that we're able to choose from at this particular point in time, and really kind of percolate on that, thinking and feeling our way through. The moon then bumps into, teams up with Neptune. Neptune is in his rulership in Pisces energy. And we are definitely feeling some, let's call it intuitive insight, intuitive guidance. We are feeling pushed and pulled. We are feeling this higher self pushing us into a direction, into a path that we haven't been able to actually formulate a plan around. This is going to make us hypersensitive. It could actually push us more into confusion than anything else. There is going to be an overwhelming emotional wave that kind of takes over us in order for us to realize what it is that we need to move away from and what it is that we need to move closer to. Now, this is a beautiful energy to really deep dive into some spiritual practices, in some meditation, maybe some journaling, anything that allows us to kind of reconnect to that higher self, to build upon that intuition, to really, really kind of build upon trusting our gut, trusting our feelings, whether or not we understand how to actually express them or to go after them at this point is neither here nor there, but we are being kind of downloaded with a new vision, with a new dream, as we purge and release some of the aspects, the emotions, the memories that we know we're no longer going to be working with moving into this next karmic chapter. Now, the one aspect that doesn't involve the moon is between Mercury and Uranus, which is a very interesting dynamic. First of all, Uranus is the highest form of our intellect. That's what connects us to the highest realms of intelligence. Mercury rules over the lower level of our intellect. That's where our egoic intellect comes in. We're taking information in from our environment. We're formulating a thought, an opinion, an idea about it. We express ourselves, we communicate ourselves from that mercurial level. When we have Mercury and Uranus working together, it's almost like we're trying to make sense of some of the downloads that we're not able to articulate as of yet. And granted, this is a minor square, right? Like we're having a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a conflict point. If this was a positive interaction, there would be aha moments, there would be epiphanies, we would have no problem trying to articulate ourselves, understand some of our, let's call them bigger thoughts, bigger ideas, bigger dreams. But this is creating a little bit of a bump in the road, so to speak. So we could see some interruptions to our day, some delays to our plans. Mercury is retrograde, by the way. We could see ourselves kind of tripping over ourselves. We could see ourselves creating a lot more confusion within our own thought process, within our conversations, the way that we're expressing ourselves. There's definitely going to be a disruption on some level, a minor inconvenience that we're probably going to over exaggerate in some particular situations and circumstances. It's going to be very hard for us to concentrate. It's also going to be very hard for us to really follow a path, a plan, a routine, a schedule. We get jolted. And because of this, we can feel, if we're operating from that lower level intellect that Mercury rules over, we can feel frustrated. We can feel kind of agitated that things aren't going according to plan or the way that we would hope that they would go. However, the higher self knows that a major interruption in the way that we're currently thinking and the way that we're currently operating is needed in order for us to see that there may be a better path, better plan in actually moving forward. So although we may get a flash of insight, it may be a flash of insight on where it is that a detour is being provided to us. We may get an aha moment, we may get a puzzle piece, but we don't know what to do with it. It doesn't snap into any of the other pieces. We're kind of confused of why would we be gifted a puzzle piece if it doesn't fit into the existing puzzle pieces that we currently have on the table. We're definitely going to be bouncing all over the place, but this is really allowing us to gain a bigger, broader perspective, coming up with some creative solutions even to some of the problems that we may be banging our head against a wall about. Again, 1:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have the moon in Pisces square, get into the boxing ring, fight it out with the sun, of course, in Sagittarius energy. And again, taking place at 27 degrees. The galactic center is at 27 degrees in Sagittarius energy. Therefore, this is a new awareness. This is something in our unconscious realm, in our conditioning, in our programming that we weren't aware of, now coming into our awareness. We can do something with it. And of course, having the Pisces energy and the Sagittarius energy work together, this is definitely in the spiritual realm with our intuition, with dreams, with imagination, with creativity, and what it is that we could do with those aha moments, those little downloads of creative force energy, what we could do with that moving forward in the bigger, greater, grander picture, in the vision, really pushing the boundaries of what it is that these downloads are showing us. And so this is going to be a very intense time. Again, a square illuminates distance, detachment. It really shows us where we're spiritually not in line with the vision, with the dream that we're trying to manifest and trying to get that mind, body, soul equation back into alignment. Again, super interesting that this is taking place in the way that it's taking place, having this galactic center alignment prior to us jumping into a brand new karmic chapter. The moon in Pisces is then going to sextile, beautiful interaction, with Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is at the latter degrees of this Capricorn energy. So this is going to be a major change, major transformation in our inner realm with the ways that we're thinking, with the ways that we're feeling, with the ways that we're listening to our inner guidance. This is definitely going to empower us. This is going to put us in a situation, in a circumstance to kind of understand where it is that we do have control, not only in the present moment, but on where it is that we would like to go from here. And of course, this is going to be the last aspect that the moon in Pisces is going to make before going void, of course. Things get shaky, things get uncertain, things get questionable when the moon is void. And lucky for us, it's only about an hour that we're going to be sitting into that energy. And then we lock into that Aries energy, 5:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9:41 p.m. is the first time that we have the moon in Aries making an interaction, and it happens to be a very positive one with Saturn. Saturn is the lord of karma. He rules over roles and responsibilities, systems, structures, routines, foundations, willpower, and discipline. And in Pisces energy, we are definitely trying to kind of dive into the spiritual practice needed in order for us to build up that inner realm confidence, that inner realm visual on what it is that we're trying to work towards, what it is that we're trying to build towards, what it is that we're trying to bring to life and create. The moon and Saturn in this way, positive interaction, we are definitely feeling like we are rising to the challenges. We are, again, cultivating a new fire, spark, flame within us. That's that Aries energy. We want to take action. We want to make moves. We want to kind of, close the door on this particular struggle, this particular chapter. We're eager to jump into new things, even though we know that some tough love life lessons, again, Saturn, awaits us. We're anxious. We're anticipating great change, great transformation. But we know that we have to do something different in order to actually yield those results. And so we are finally feeling in our warrior type of spirit that we are prepped, we are prepared to take this next chapter on. The moon is then going to be interacting with Venus in not the nicest way. Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, she's in Scorpio energy. She is doing a deep dive in the shadow realm of our emotions, of our past pain and traumatic experiences, especially where relationships are concerned, where self-worth is concerned. We are unpacking what it is that is currently blocking us from going after what it is that we know would bring us a sense of safety, security, stability, happiness, joy, pleasure. Again, just as we realize what that happiness may be, we kind of face the fears, the doubts, the insecurities that pop up in our conditioning, in our programming, that essentially keep us from going after those particular aspects. The moon and Venus in this way definitely going to clash a little bit, but we're clashing in a way that is kind of pushing us to kind of get over it, to push past it, push through it. Again, we have that warrior type of spirit coming from that moon in Aries energy, and Venus is going through the depths of her darkness in order to realize where she has to reprioritize her life, where it is that new values, new important aspects, even people need a different place, different role, different responsibility in our lives. This has a major effect on the relationship dynamics that have been popping off since essentially Libra season. And we are definitely starting to reprocess, again, Mercury's retrograde, reprocess how it is that we're thinking, how it is that we're feeling, what it is that our heart is asking us to do in order to clear the space, clean the slate, in order for us to pursue new passions, new desires, where our love and money are concerned.